Good evening, guys and ladies. It's me and the Monday Juma. We're going to talk the Hojlund injury. Um, Sounds like it's a little bit more serious than was first anticipated. We're going to talk about a contract renewal for Wan Bissaka. You lot can tell us if you think it's deserved. Um, I've got my opinion. Obviously, you're going to hear it, and obviously you're going to hear the words of wisdom from Monday, guys. Let's get the show on the road. Before we go any further on Monday, I think it's only fair that we hit up the people in the chat. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here and we'd be talking to each other in a WhatsApp group. So,
yeah, you're totally right. Big up to Alex saying, cheers, guys. Finally about to head home from work. Hope you had a great day. Yeah, big up, man. I hope it's a long day at work, isn't it? Like me. Brush is in the house. Everyone knows Brush. How you doing? Well, Brush. Haven't spoken to you for a long, long time. When was the last time you spoke to Brush, Mr. B?
last Friday.
All right. Well, mine's been longer. It seems like an eternity. Bart is in the house talking about the medical revealed hotspot on his back, which could potentially cause a stress fracture. Exactly what Mr. B said. That's limiting the possibility of overplaying him twice a week. Big up to Jeff. He's in the house as well. Jeff is saying, Bart, the same thing Rashi had, but only he played through his. Lucifer's in the house as well. Good evening. Gents, he's saying, how you doing? Niall as well. Big up, lads. He's saying, thanks, Niall. Hope you're doing well. And here we go, most certainly. And finally, there'll be more coming, but is Zoe saying, Zoe Media House is saying good evening to the two guys on the panel and obviously to everyone out there as well. So big up Zoe Media House.
Right, on Monday, we bought. Have we bought a Crocs striker?
Interesting, that isn't it? From what's been said and what's developing now. I mean, look, Mr. B, I was saying to you on the phone when we were on the way back here. I was saying to you, bruv, how does it work with medicals? We have a medical to ensure there is no issues, and then we can sign the player. But we had the medical before we make the signing. And I said to you, have we made the signing? And you said yes. So I'm saying, well, why is this only being released now? What wouldn't we sort of renegotiate if there's something wrong? It's like buying 40 goods. If I buy a pack of 6 eggs and one of them's cracked and I bring it home, you know, really and truly, me bringing it home, I've already purchased it. But what I would do, what I usually do, when I'm in the store, as I'm about to go to the checkout, I'll open the eggs up and do a little medical MOT, and they all in working order. And if any of them are cracked, I would say, sorry, I have to take this back, or give me, if I'm in a boss man shop, I'd say £1, I want it for 90 pence because one of them's damaged. You see what I'm saying, where I'm going with this? So I was just a bit confused. How can this come out afterwards now that we've made the signing? Because surely we want someone to be playing twice a week, if that's the case, you know? That's my only query. How bad? I'm not a back expert. What do they call someone who works on the back? Chiropodist? No.
I just call them doctors, bro. They do everything. Okay. So I don't know what the back word is.
Okay. Well, whoever works on backs, yeah, they should know. Anyway,
is that chiropractor? Is that back?
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah. So here we go. So having only just been introduced to Old Trafford faithful, it's likely a shock for Man United fans to find out Rasmus wasn't available for a few weeks. It was believed that a minor injury, whilst with Atalanta, was the cause, and United were perfectly aware when conducting the medical to sign a 20-year-old. However, something more serious has come to light, and it cast doubt on the decision-making of the club, which I was just saying. According to the Daily Mail, Rasmus has had to undergo an MRI scan as part of a medical process, and a stress response hotspot in his back has been detected. So let's read it again. Stress response hotspot. That's believed to be the start of the stress fracture in younger players, and if not treated quickly and properly, it could see the day miss months rather than weeks in this campaign this coming year. The question surely has to be asked whether United were that desperate for a striker that they were willing to buy one that definitely can't play in the first few games and most likely will have to miss a few games in the future because of the latest news. It's an unfortunate development for both the club and the player himself, who will surely be wanting to get started as soon as possible. All United and Erik ten Hag can hope for at this point is that the treatment for the injury calms it down and that Hojlund is well enough to play for the club sooner rather than later. Just to repeat, the key words for me here from this is the stress. He's had a medical process, and the stress response hotspot in his back was detected. A stress response hotspot. So there's an area in his back which is quite vulnerable to stress, and that's a hotspot where it could cause more problems than in the future, especially this season. Mr. B.
Okay. Well, what they have said, obviously, some people are going to look at it one way. Some people are going to look at it and dig out certain bits. So I'm going to dig out a certain bit. Said if it's managed properly, he doesn't have a stress fracture. But the fact that they took the MRI scan and it showed that it could lead to a stress fracture means that they did their job properly. The proof's going to be in the pudding. If he doesn't play twice a week, all right, he's injured now. We know he's injured. But when he comes back, I mean, everybody's going to be saying, "Oh, we've bought a dud, or we've bought a this, or we bought a that." Ruud van Nistelrooy, broke down in training the year before we went to buy him, and he wasn't a bad striker, was he? So let's not get it twisted. Ten Hag hasn't made any mistakes so far, that we can see publicly, in players. Yes, he won't start the season. Casemiro didn't start the season for us last season, and he turned out to be not too bad. So I think if throughout the season he's not playing twice a week when he's supposed to be fit, then I think then we could probably say, all right, then yeah, maybe it is really, really serious. It's not that he can't play, and I said, I'm not going to say it's not an issue. I mean, you were saying, could we have got him cheaper? Maybe, but they've done all of that, and now they're going to say because he's got a stress fracture that it's not a permanent injury. It's something that will heal. It's something that can heal if it's treated properly. So I understand we could have maybe got a reduction, or maybe we could have got more with add-ons. Paid less and more with add-ons in games being played. Blah blah blah. But the end of the day, we needed a striker, and we were losing our mind, to be fair about it. We were losing our mind. So the fact that I think we've got him in.
Mr. B, my thing is this. He's come to the Premiership Physical League. Now, what they might as well do to add to this, give us a grid reference on his back to exact area where his hotspot is. So these defenders can come in from the back of him and flipping give him some in that precise area. Why reveal something like this? Just give him the grid reference, right, lower back, right here, and so the opposition defenders can come through him and kick him out of the game. Because that's what likely to happen.
Our players, the way that football's being played now, our players getting kicked out of the game. They're being protected on Monday. You can't even blow on a player without him wanting to fall down on the floor.
Got trampled on the other day from James's daughter. James's sister.
Trampled on with those big legs. Trampled, yeah?
Yeah, that big back trampled on.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say.
So, but you know what I mean?
I mean, look,
dark arts.
It's there's. I just don't. I don't think that. Yeah, we understand it is a physical. I get it, but it's not like it was 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, where they were allowed to go through the back of a man. So I'm not sure. And somebody put in the chat, Rashford played with a broken back. He did. He played with a broken back for a year. So it can be done. It's just how determined he is to do it. The fact that he's 20, and I said again, the fact that they've assessed it early. What I will say is welcome back, 007. I'm going to assume that you finally come out of your cave, because it's been a long time and you've been away a long time. Obviously, Liverpool buying a couple of players has made you feel a bit boisterous again. So welcome, 007. Hopefully you'll stay a little bit longer this time. So
yes, Olakunle, how you doing? Just a couple of comments here. Martial Mark II, here we go. Going on back injury, unable to play 2 games a week for the foreseeable future. Only United would do that. That's from our very own Olakunle. He can probably still train with the injury. That's why he would pass the medical. That's from Emma K. Zoe's like, oh, sigh, I'm going to have a beer now. More bad news. Same issues Jones had 3 seasons. That's not cool. Vincent, how you doing, man? I know you got a comment coming. Sick note, says Zoe Media House. That belonged to Darren Anderton. Probably a few weeks of relaxation, and he's good to go. As long as we don't play him through it like we did with Rashford. Good comment. I like that. Vincent saying here, Zoe Media House, if he was sick note, he would be kind and played for Liverpool, and that's why you would have been able to sign on my working on the side of Liverpool. That's from Vincent. That's to you, Emma. Was he really going to play twice a week anyways? I don't think so, says Emma. Who knows? Sigmund in the house. How you doing? As long as he's with us for 5 years, then we're fine. He'll have the professionals around him, medical staff, to get him fit and well for us as well. He's also saying good evening. Olukunle again saying he can't play 2 games a week. Doing so more likely cause a serious injury. David Saar, how you doing? Spurs are comfortably beating Barcelona without Harry Kane at the moment. I want to say hi to Grace Sheridan. How you doing, Grace? We needed a striker. We got an unfit Atalanta bench player. Trust Man United an injured striker, says HD Gamer. Zoe saying here, if I was Ten Hag, I'd be looking for a goal scorer, maybe Greenwood. If Hojlund is out and Martial had the same injury season, we will be short on goals as well. Basically, he shouldn't be playing for us for about 3-4 months while they build up his core strength. That's what Olakunle.
Oh, I'm telling you, yeah, 007 coming in with his bullshit.
Price.
Welcome back.
David Saar saying just visit Germany for a few injections, like most of them do as well. And Vincent again is saying, can everyone please go to their Twitter account, follow Man United Agenda, and repost to spread the news about Man United Agenda. Thank you. Thank you, Vincent. Vincent's going to the first game of the season next Monday as well. Hopefully you get a report from you. He's Danish. He's been uncomfortable. Him being uncomfortable is not going to stop him. That's from Emma, who's also Danish as well. And big up to Matthew Bassett as well. HG Gamer finally saying we're going to roll with Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony for the first few games, which is good enough, I believe.
I don't have a problem. I mean, was it Emma that made the comment about him probably not playing twice a week?
Yeah,
she could be right there. You know, if you really think about it, on Monday, she could be right there because Ten Hag doesn't really throw the players into that. Last season, a lot of these players had to play twice a week because we didn't have the players to play.
Yeah,
but I think he could well be eased into action anyway. So she could be right. Maybe it's something that we're probably not going to know until maybe 6 months down the line once we feel that, as I said, his injuries cleared up.
Yeah, just Sigmund saying here, surely it's a 007th this season. Anyone see Wayward's video? I don't know what that means, but HG Game is talking there. So, Mr. B, overall, it's not good news, really. It's a bit concerning when we just spent a lot of money on a player, and hopefully, I'm going to wish him well. I'm going to give him all the healing love that he needs and the attention to get him fit and raring to go. Because even if we have to wait, like the guys are saying, the really knowledgeable guys in the comments, even if we have to wait, don't send him out there until he's fully ready
to go. Yeah.
And we've got a great medical department. We've given Varane to get through most of last season, which is the only issue is Martial doesn't seem to sort of he's the only person I can think about the club who doesn't have a good run. And I don't know what the medical staff must despair. And
they got the doctor from Arsenal, didn't they? Beginning of the season.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They got the doctor from Arsenal. These people, it's work. It's work for them. Like it's players. They're freelance. They go where the money is. And obviously we've offered him a little bit more than they were playing. Okay. So we'll see. We will see. As I said, hopefully it doesn't affect us too much earlier on. And he comes good. But coming good. Wan Bissaka. News coming out about a Wan Bissaka contract extension once the season starts. His contract's up to 2024, so he only had a year left anyway.
Wow.
But when Ten Hag came in, I will hold up my hands and I will say it. I didn't think Wan Bissaka was going to be good enough. He posted some of those videos of him doing 1-2s in the park, running down the line and trying to cross. And I laughed. I poo-pooed it. But fair play to him. We always knew that he could tackle. We always knew that part of his game. But I saw him doing 1-2s in, was it the Real Madrid game?
Yeah.
And passing the ball. Yeah, one-touch football. And I just thought, bloody hell. So he's learned. He's learned. Ten Hag. We say these players. Some players can't be coached. He's been coached. He soaks it up like a sponge, and I think it's well deserved. They talk about more money as well, so it's not like it's just a year extension. Maybe it's going to be a 3 or a 4 year with an option of a fourth. So I'm absolutely delighted for him on Monday. Absolutely delighted for him. I know you're, Chris. I know you're a Dallo boy. So has it changed your opinion?
No, I will say David's agreeing with you. He's saying Wan Bissaka's the only player that truly deserves contract right now. So he's impressed with his form. He came on the second half of the season last year and really performed really well. No one can really fault him. Most of the fan base like his performances. I like Dallo. I think he was a good signing by Mourinho a few years ago. Someone who's growing at the club, someone who's developing at the club, and someone who you'd think would be better in the final third than Wan Bissaka. But it's getting to the point now where you're saying who's the better defender. I think it's quite close. It's not as close as what people might think. It is closer than what people might think. I think Dallo, we saw him in the last game clearing balls from the back post, something Wan Bissaka's had issues with in the past. And positioning play. He's a big guy as well, Dallo. I don't think people realise how tall he is and how strong he is. And he's determined. I think they're both very good right backs for us. And we've got to keep both of them for sure. We were talking all season last year about Fring Fong and all these guys coming in to replace him. One of these guys had to leave. But the form and the attitude is something that has to be commended by both Dallo and Wan Bissaka. They're fighting for a place. We're going to need both of them. And they both, what is, you want them both to bring the same qualities. And I think Dallo's defenders improved. And I think Wan Bissaka's final third play has improved as well. The areas where they needed to improve, they seem to have stepped up. So I have to give credit to both players for that, because we've seen improvements in the area, in their weakness, where they had weaknesses before. That you have to give credit to the management, like you said. You have to give credit to the players. Dallo is a true professional. He really works on his game. He's really determined. He goes and trains hard. He wants to get the best out of himself. And at a young age like that, you have to sort of salute the guy. Wan Bissaka was being under pressure. He's always poker faced. You don't know how he feels. He's not very emotional on the pitch, a bit like Martial, but he's seemed to have thick skin, because when he's been on the down, where he's been talking about, most of the podcast talking about him leaving, he's got himself together. He's put his head down and he's come back and shown. But the only way he can show it is on the pitch, and he's done that last season. And that's why people like David are saying here he deserves a new contract. That's why you're saying it. That's why I'm saying it as well. Well done to these guys. That's what we want to see. When you're down on your face and you got to improve things, you want to develop. Listen to the manager, listen to the coach, and become a better player. Work on your weaknesses. It's like playing with your left foot as a kid. Work on your left foot. You become a better player in the long run for it. And they worked on his weaknesses. Final third for Wan Bissaka, defending for Dallo, and they become both better players. So I'm really delighted right now with the strength of our squad. And these players are not the men they used to be a couple of years ago. They've grown into giants right now, and I'm really pleased.
I've got a question for you. I was listening to what you were saying there. Who do you think Wan Bissaka's, guys, this is for you guys in the chat as well. Do you think Wan Bissaka's attacking has improved more than Dallo's defending?
Yeah, my response to that is he understands where he's supposed to be. So he's going to be in that interior position. He's not running down the wing like traditional right backs, going to the touchline, crossing balls in or whatever thing. He's having to make runs and play balls, like you said, against Real Madrid, getting the ball, pump into feet, give and go. He's playing that interior position in that half space, and he's finding himself getting into positions where he could score, could provide as well. He's keeping the ball really well in those areas as well. He might not be supplying assists like Trent or whatever, or Robinson like they were. You know, we're not expecting that from him, because we know it's not in his locker so much. But he's what I would say is he's doing well. He understands what he's expected to do, where he's supposed to run, where he's supposed to position himself, so he can be a good outlet. Or is he getting balls into the box now? He's getting fed in positions where you're like, wow, nosebleed time, but he's comfortable and he's popping it around. And what he will always do, rather than, he would always play the percentage pass. He always play the sensible pass rather than try to do anything outrageous, which is good in those areas. Give it to someone who's better than you. If he sees Anthony on, give it to Anthony. Give it to Bruno. There's little partnerships brewing here. Things that we didn't expect from down the right-hand side. for the last couple of years. So I'm really pleased. I think he's improved a lot in that area.
It's all about improvement, and that's all we could do. That's all we could do this summer. Obviously, we've
Andy
got
Bassett saying here last season we needed a new right back. Do we need one for that? Do we still need one for that position? I'm saying no, Mr. B.
No, we're done. I would like to. I mean, I want to do a show with you this week before the season starts, maybe Thursday or Monday, where we just go through our squad depth, who we're going to keep, who we're not going to. Actually, you know, we will do it Thursday. We will do it Thursday. We talk about, and this guy's we're giving you prior warning so you can get your notes up. I know Matthew Bassett has some deep, he knows some deep players down in the reserve, so maybe there'll be one or two. But yeah, look, we'll choose a squad of 26 that we think can see where we can go, maybe where we need strengthening. So get that in, keep that in your keep that in your thoughts.
You asked a question. There's a couple of good questions here I have to read out because the guys are going in the comments. They're saying here, HG Game is saying, have to say Sancho did do a little cooking on Sunday against Bilbao. It's clear to see that for United anyway, he's the best in the centre. Grace has got a contribution here. This is good about the right back situation. Grace, how you doing? She's saying here, when did defenders have to start attacking? We don't complain when our attackers don't defend. Yes, we do. Why do we complain when Wan Bissaka isn't the world's best attacking fullback? As long as he can defend, she's saying. Do you want to really react to that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think what the problem was with Wan Bissaka is once he took the ball from the player, which he did. Let's be honest, 999 out of 1,000 times. It was what he did after the ball, after what he did with the ball. So this is the part now that I like. And to be fair, we cussed Trent. Everybody said, "Oh, Trent's the best attack." I'm sorry. I want my right back, which is a defender, first and foremost, to be able to defend. So I agree. I'm glad he can defend, but I'm glad that he's learning the
balance,
balance. Yeah, it's the part of the game now where, you know, it's important, especially the role that's inverted. He's playing as a central midfielder. You know, he's got to have a little bit up there. So yeah, fair play.
DK Wilson saying depth is the most important, of my utmost importance. Keep them both. They both supply something different, don't they? But they are blending into sort of a balanced right back for both of us. Both of them for the team. Emma's replying to Grace saying because we are going to play attacking football. All our defenders need to be good on the ball, offensively and defensively as well. Just going to filter out some comments here about the topic. Wan Bissaka from Emma saying it, looking like he's just coming to the team. Seems like he haven't really been developed these past few years until now. So it's only now we're seeing a peak.
And again, remember we're talking about player improvement and having a good coach. I mean, you called it on Monday early. We need a coach. It's all well and good having systems, but if players can't improve, all right, I'm just going to throw in there. Juventus. Players who go to Juventus do not improve. They don't. Blajovic has dropped off. Pogba maybe was never going to improve. And there was another couple of players that I had in my head that, as I said, Juve, they popped up. They're not improving. Ten Hag is improving. Look what he did at Utrecht. Look what he did at Ajax. He improves players. So the fact that these players are now, as I said, there's a ceiling that a lot of these players maybe didn't think they were going to reach, that maybe they will.
Sigmund saying, yes, I do rate Dello. Okay as a squad player, but I get frustrated with his positioning and overall vision as well, as he's saying. So there's still areas we can improve from Sigmund. Zoe saying, yes, Wan Bissaka is better now going forward than Dello is at defending. Interesting. Zoe saying here, what's happened to Malacia, as Mr. B likes to say. HG Game is saying, mistakes can happen. It's a friendly, unless you're Maguire. No mercy upon your son. Dello did make a mistake, but you have to give him a chance as well. So Jeff contribution saying Dello and Wan Bissaka each have skills we can use in different matches as well. Want to say, here we go again. Zoe saying, I'm not convinced with Dello, and he needs to be careful as we have Malacia. Fernandez can play there too. Can they play on the right?
Yeah, left. Yeah.
Alex is in the house saying, I still feel Wan Bissaka switched off on set pieces. His crossing is poor, and we can play this. We can play a super different. We can play a super different play style between him and Dello. Okay, there you go. Pranay. How you doing?
Welcome.
Channel.
Welcome.
He's saying here, but how good is Carl Walker on the ball? But he's a treble winner. There are roles to be played by everyone in order for the team to succeed collectively. Interesting
Systems.
one.
Systems.
Yeah, good comment. Jale is in the house. Varovic is a good example of a Juve player who's dropped off. You just said that, didn't you, Mr. B? He's reading your mind. Vincent saying here, we all know today's third kit was released, white and red, and there's so much anger-ness at the right Roy Keane selling his soul to the Glazers.
Sorry, I'm so Vincent, man. Sometimes he just brings up things that I should write this stuff down during the day. What are people's thoughts on? Obviously, you know, is he wrong? Is he wrong for doing it? Is there a pun in it about, you know, kind of selling his soul, blah blah blah? Is it? What are people's thoughts? Look, a kit launch is a kit launch. What they've done, they've got people talking, and that's the most important thing that you can do. You've got people talking. What are people's thoughts? What's your thoughts on it on Monday?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I've been at work all day. I haven't seen it, but I've heard people I respect, like Rebel and Vincent, are talking about it. So Roy Keane seems to have got involved in the kit launch. I've heard people don't like the kit. For one, I'm not.
I prefer it to that green monstrosity that we've got. I'll tell you.
Okay. Well, is it the away kit?
It's the third kit. It's the third kit.
The red one.
Right.
So the third kit.
It's the third kit. So they've got the red one, then they've got that green one that they were modeling with shoes and tweed pants, for God's sake.
Right.
And now they've got this white one.
Look. Is it an issue with Roy Keane? Is that what the people are moaning about?
Well, yeah, I think they're saying that, you know, maybe he sold his soul and he's selling. I don't know. There just seemed to be a lot of backlash to it.
Okay, before just go off a bit topic here, Vincent, you're saying here, can everyone at Man United Agenda send their thoughts and prayers to Rich Sports? I don't know what's happening, but Rich, I hope everything's all right with you, guys. Rich Sports is a fantastic channel. From day one, he's been very supportive, and he usually comes on about 10 o'clock at night, covering Man United. Great chat. I don't know what's happened, Vincent. Maybe just tell us off air if it's something sensitive. But Rich, our thoughts and prayers are with you. I hope everything's all right with Rich Sports at the moment. Yeah, that's a bit of a worry. Going back to topic then. Big up Rich Sports. I hope he's well. Grace is staying here. I'll come back to that, Grace. I love the kit launch, says Alex. There's one. And here's one on topic. Keno needs an addition to his house. I don't know what I mean. The kit is beautiful, once again, from Alex. Spurs are winning. Okay, thanks, Rich. Jeff, just heard. You can read that there. I'm not going to say that out, but our thoughts are with you, bro. Yeah, you only get one. And that's more important than anything. Anyway, so Grace is saying here, Sancho played closer to the striker at Dortmund in a 3-4-2-1 system and a 3-4-1-2. He didn't need to defend. He had 7 players behind him to protect him. Do you see him as centre forward or on the wing at Man United?
I think he's probably going to get more game time as a down the centre. I think he's going to get more game time.
Interesting, wasn't it? There were 2 squads at the weekend. We had the first team on Saturday, second team on Sunday. He was in the second team as the main man up front. Anyway, Pranay, who already had a great comment earlier, let's hear what he's saying now. He said, I remember when Ten Hag invited ex-Man United players to Carrington at certain moments to help players with guidance. So maybe Ten Hag has created a good atmosphere around the club now. That's a question mark. He's saying maybe. I think he has. Sigmund saying here, are these legends really running out of revenue streams? I'm not a fan of new club crest on the shirt. It's disgusting. Shopping solutions. Nothing wrong at all. Last season, it was Cantona. Why didn't people say the same thing? Let Keane get that bag. It's also an Adidas collab as well. There you go. So I think that's a good, fair balance of comments here. Alex is saying here, it was a play on being a devil. How are you a red devil before you're born? Shows him in the kit, and he speaks really like long sleeve kit, though. So there you go. There's a bit of balance there for both comments, I think, and that made you laugh as well, Pranay. Yeah, big up RJ, by the way. RJ's in the house. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Mr. B, anything to add to that, the shirt thing? Because
look, I didn't like it when I first saw it. I thought it looked like the Liverpool kit, but people are moaning about it not having a badge. It's the third kit and it's different.
Right.
So I will be contacting Tony.
Will you be buying it?
I will be contacting Tony. Yes, I've
Tony,
seen it in
okay,
the.
good.
So yes, I will be contacting your boy, and I'm not sure what color my son. Sorry, can anybody tell me what Garnacho's shirt number is
It's
for the
not 7.
season? It's I know.
Yeah, what were you waiting? Because I thought the squad numbers have been released already. I
Well,
thought
he's still 49, but I
All
would
right.
assume Varane would be taking number 4. So if anybody in the chat before we go, I know we're going to be wrapping up. There's 37 of you in there. Please,
Woo.
guys, hit that like button for me, and let us know. But please, right, Jeff's saying 49. Is it going to stay 49 before the season starts? Because I want to get my little man a shirt, and he wants Garnacho and he wants the number. But I was putting it off because I didn't want to get him 49 if his number was then going to be 25 or something like that.
So I wanted to shout out Matthew because he asked a couple of questions about earlier. Matthew asked a question about do we need a right back? Now he's also asking, how do you rate our infrastructure and the business that we're currently doing and how we're operating? So, Mr. B, can we both answer that? How do we need another right back? We talked about Dalot, we talked about Wan Bissaka getting a new contract, and how do you rate our infrastructure and the business that we're currently doing and how we're operating? Do you want to just tackle that?
Okay. Well, look, we've still got certain people at the club that ain't gone, so it's not great. But let's think about what we needed before the beginning of the season. We needed a central midfielder. He went out and got one. We needed a striker. All right, at the moment he's not in. We've got him in. Lord God, we needed a goalie. We now have not a goalie. We have the goalie. It's also about sales. Yeah. If we can get rid of Fred, McTominay, Henderson, and Maguire from that 4 before the transfer window closes, then I would say we have had a pretty good window. As long as we bring in, replacements, whether it's Tadibo that seems to be kicking off today that we spoke about a couple of days ago on Monday. We always seem to be a little bit ahead of the curve sometimes. We spoke about him, and we get the other central midfielder. Then, hey, look, it's no problem. And as you know, me and Jeff, our powers are working. He hasn't quite gone to Dortmund yet. He hasn't quite gone to Bayern yet. So there's still that opportunity to. And look, on Monday, we talk about the sales, the Man United sales. What's the figure that people keep coming up with? 100 mil. All in all.
I wouldn't know. Sorry.
I mean, if you add up, Fred getting
in
15.
100. Yeah, I've seen some figures. Just say over 100 million. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously it's over 100 million. How much did Levy want for Harry Kane?
All right. Okay. This is a trap. You're setting me up behind you. You're steering me down one direction. These one-word answers. Okay. Yeah, I see where you're going at, Mr. B. Continue. Let's end it. Where's the punchline?
No, that's it.
Go on, say it.
I know. I'm gonna leave it out there. But you haven't answered that question before we go there on Monday.
Okay. So the question is from Matthew Bassett. Matthew, I appreciate Matthew Bassett is a great contributor to the channel, by the way. And I just think I did miss your question earlier. So you asked about the right back, Matthew. Do we need another right back? I'm going to say no. I think we saw Lindelof play left back the other day, or I think if it gets down to it and one of these guys gets injured, I think we could bring Lindelof over in that position. He could play there if it gets desperate. But I think these guys Dalot will keep fit. You can never know, do you, for sure? But I think these guys will be all right. So I don't think we need another right back right now, not as a priority. Regarding the infrastructure, I think the stadium's still poor. I still think, obviously, until the new owners come in, if that does happen, we need to organise getting better training facilities. But the infrastructure regarding staff, as Mr. B added earlier, we bought a nice medical staff from Arsenal. So we're trying to buy the best out there. I think that's improved the staffing since Ranrick was around. I think he's highlighted. He was like a troubleshooter, wasn't it? Coming to the club saying this, and this is wrong. And even though he got the stick and everyone thought he was rubbish, he actually exposed a lot which needed to be fixed. And I think the people that came in after him don't get the heat, and they say, all right, we do need these positions. And we've seen a lot of new staff come in, people that are going to benefit the club. And hopefully we see that with less injuries, better patterns of play, better training, better regards to the facilities. I mean, they used to train down at the cliff, didn't they? That wasn't the best facilities, but it was effective because it had its own sort of unique sort of style or about it, you know. So I do think things are improving slowly but surely. And on the football side of things, I only look at the football side of things. I'm not understanding what's going on with the business side of things, but the football side of things, we've seen improvements for sure. With improvements in the players, improvements in the attitude. We're weaning out, filtering out players that with bad attitude, whether they're leaking stuff, whether they're just not up for it, they're getting out of the club. And I think the training, the coaching, not hearing any inside, nothing's been leaked about issues or arguments or thing. And trust me, journalists will be seeking that out. They would love to make a story out of Man United, but nothing's coming out that's negative. All we're seeing is a good manager in control, making decisions. He's made tough decisions all along since he's been at the club, got rid of egos like Ronaldo, dealt with situations like suspensions and players that he doesn't really want, who we can see that now with Fred, McTominay, Maguire, players that he doesn't really fit his sort of style or football, or whatever. So I think overall we should be delighted. And I'm sure, Matthew, you should come on the show because we haven't seen you for ages, and come on and let us know what you think about that as well, because we're going on too long about that, and I just think we need to move on. Just want to say big up to Eddie Football Waffle as well. Eddie Football Waffle, go and subscribe to his channel, and once again, big up to our man Rich Sports as well, who's had a terrible loss. So it's just sinking in now. But bruv, our thoughts are with you, our thoughts and prayers, condolences to the family.
Monday, before we go, this is what I love. I love being in a WhatsApp group with certain people. Ten Hag, you was talking about his overall, the way that he's running the club and the things that he's getting changed. Home games now, he actually wants the players to be meeting at Old Trafford 3.5 hours before kickoff, so that they can go through routines, patterns of play, and so that they can go through like their pre-match routine, rather than going to the Lowry and then coming into Old Trafford. He wants everything based there. Do you think that'll improve? Do you think that's going to improve? I mean, look, when he first came in, he changed the side that the subs sat on. You know, because obviously he wanted them to have to walk past the team instead of the Old Trafford United team walking past. So there's little things. Do you think that this is gonna help the way that his process works?
Yeah. Look, you're a manager. I'm a manager. We manage sides, not at this level, but we manage sides. And one thing, just for me, just going to compare it to what's happening at my club at the moment. We have people that turn up late, and we try to say to them, get here. We got kick off at 10 o'clock, 10:30. Get here at 9:30 so we can organise. Why?
Like me.
Why? Yeah, so we can get you in early, so everyone can, you know, after half an hour being together, we're bubbling, people are talking. How's your week? And then we can sit down and talk tactics. Then we can warm up properly. Then after the warm up, we can go through the tactics board properly, so we know exactly what's going on. And then what happens is we see people strolling up late. Like,
yes, walking. What do you do?
What the hell are you doing?
Because what do you do? Because I'll be honest, right? I've been doing it for 20 years, over 20 years.
Wow.
And in the beginning, I used to cuss a blood clot, and it worked. Now, obviously, as I've got older, I've tried to calm down, but it's like people are taking me trying to take me for an arse. Now, do they get lit up? Do I like them? Do you find them? You can't find a man nowadays. I just want them to come and play football, but I also want them to learn a level of respect. What can you do I know we've gone completely off.
You're a manager. I think I'm managing now. I think it's important, for what I've realized is you can't be completely brutal with everyone. You have to understand that some people react differently to certain things. So if I prod a man or say something to a man, he might blow up and it might cause friction. You got to treat everyone, I think, with a bit of balance and understand everyone's got their own personalities and everything else. So someone who's turning up late, for example, what we do, trick them sometimes, say, look, we've got to be there at 9 o'clock. And they would still be late. Do you know what I'm saying? Somehow they'll still be late, you know? So someone like that, you got to say to them, what's going on with you, bruv? What's going on? Why is it you're always late? Do you see the disrespect? And then when it gets to the point that he's the only one being late, then everyone else, you know, I can look cool, because the whole team, that pressure will get on his case. So he's the only one. Because what happens is we start to set standards that the whole team are getting on board with. So if you're one of the ones who are not on board with it, you're going to stand out like a sore thumb, and then there's no reason to complain when you're sitting on the bench, no matter how good you are, in my opinion. So it's very tough, but I think on the elite level, what Ten Hag's doing, I think he's doing a great job, because these guys who, how can, I think they always say, look at your CV. Who are you to tell us shit? Ten Hag wasn't the greatest player, but they respect him because he's a great manager, and he has that kind of air of good management and good respect from the players and discipline. So it takes time, but people have seen it, especially when you chief up Ronaldo and say, nah, bro, I'm not having that. They're thinking, right, you do that to Ronaldo. Who am I to step up or try to do anything? So even if it's at the detriment of your team, you might lose some good players. The bottom line is you'll become a better team, a better harmony, better club if you do things like get them in early and have that professionalism, wear your suit, clean your boots. All these things are important. You understand what I'm saying? We feel part of something, like a fraternity or something. This is why people in the army shine their shoes and get up there and follow command and everything else, because it creates a kind of like them and us kind of thing. We're out there. We are something. We're a force. We're united. As Man United are, we're united in battle, and you can't have people being soft and stupid about it.
I hear that, man. Look, across the pond, we see you, man. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, we've got an injury for our Diet Haaland. Just like you won the league with Diet Pep. It's no problem. It's no thing. With that, we are going to leave it. Pranay, welcome to the channel, man. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for keeping your what's the word? Thanks for watching. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word.
I'm not going to read it out, but there you go with another great comment about on topic what we were saying about Ten Hag, about staying in hotels the night before. Felt the traffic to the stadiums and security concerns, food on offer might impact the performance. That's a great comment there. And guys as well, Emma as well, Andy Herbert, Vincent Bullock, Jeff as well, across the pond, Matthew Bassett, of course. Quickly answer that one for Matthew Bassett.
Oh shit. I'm a winger. Left or right. Vets football I can play winger. Them young boys now, I don't play anything. I've hung up my boots, play with anybody younger than 35. But if I play vets, then I'm left or right. Yeah.
I play anywhere down the middle. I can play good centre back, I can play centre midfield, and I can play up front. 3 different positions, but I feel comfortable playing all 3 of those positions and bringing something to it. I'm quite big as well, and I bring my size to the position, experience, reading of the games, play at my own pace. I'm never flustered. In midfield, just slow things down, tick things over. Defense, sit back, read the game, control things, bring things out from the back. Up front, rough up defenders, give them some elbows, hold them up and rough them up, and hold up the ball and bring others into play. So yeah, but Mr. B, by the way, I'm just going to say this before we go. I've repeated this already many times. We played a charity game. We've got another one next May, haven't we?
May the 24th.
So
yeah,
we're going to put it out there very soon. So all you guys who want to come and play for us against COP TV Talks, they beat us 3-2 last time, and it was disappointing. We were 2-0 up, but the reason we were 2-0 up because this guy, to my whatever left or right, scored a banger of a goal. He got sent through from left wing. Mr. B, blah, 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 got up had to sort of jockey a defender in the box, touch, got to the right, got it off his right foot, past a former Yedin keeper, and amazed. I was like, I couldn't even keep up. How the hell do you score goals like that? Mr. B was on fire. So if you want to come down next time, come and film. If you want to play for Man United Agenda in May, there's plenty of time now. We've got another whole 9-10 months to get this ready. We need to whoop them this time. So we want players, good players. Even if you come down, you can come and stay, sleep on my couch, whatever. But we want good players to come and represent. And we want some cheerleaders as well. So if you're about, guys, make sure you come and represent for the Man United Agenda and join us if you can kick some football. Ed Mayhem came down all the way from Birmingham last time.
Yeah.
We respect that. And that was cool.
So, guys, look, with that, we have hit that 45-minute mark. Please hit that like button. I know Solo's not around too often, but I am still getting messages about the likes that we're not getting. So, guys, look, please keep hitting that like button. We will be back tomorrow at 8:30. Thursday, me and Monday will be doing our oh shit, what was the show going to be about? My head's gone.
We're going to do about the pre-season, like the
Squad,
season.
squad depth, squad depth
squad
and stuff like.
that.
That's the one. Friday double show takeaway. Between Saturday Sunday we'll have a preview, and then we've got to watch along on Monday against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and our Premier League season starts. God bloody wait, guys. Look, as I say, you don't have to be here. We really appreciate the fact that you are. We are the agenda. We are out. Thanks for watching.